Right, so we're starting off this video with a little bit of a different beginning really. This radio I put up in the loft. I stored it away, and to make sure that it was stored nicely, I put it in this very sturdy Liebherr box, because they always use very sturdy boxes, Liebherr. And I wrote on it trio valve radio, so that I knew what it was, and in my little stack of boxes that was at the back wall and I could read what it was. Anyway, I decided that I wanted to get this down, and I'm going to put it inside the house and use it to, to listen to radio stations. But I thought, it'd be nice to, have a look at it and sort of have a look around it. And obviously, I want to make sure it still works. The capacitors sometimes leak and have not been changed, so we'll have to have a look at that anyway. So we're going to unbox it now as such, and we'll get it out, and then I'll put it up and I'll connect it to the antenna, and we'll see what we can pick up on this lovely Sunday morning. Okie dokie then, so we've got it out of the box now, and I put it up there. It all seems to be okay. I was a little bit worried about the knobs on the front here. They seem a little bit looser than I remember them being, but I don't think, it's probably just me. It's been a long time since. It's been up in the loft for a good 4 or 5 years now, since I last used it. Anyway, what it is, it's a trio model 9R59D. Now these were made from 1968 to 1969. They're just a receiver. You can't transmit on them. It would do 0.55 to 1.6 megahertz, 1.6 to 4.8 megahertz, 4.8 to 14.5 megahertz, 10.5 to 30 megahertz, and it's got, as you can see, it's got SSB, CW, AM, and but 2 AMs. It doesn't have FM, but you can put it on send, and that'll seem to receive on FM for some reason. It's got a phone socket, so you can have earphones. Got you on a tripod here, but we might be able to move you around a little bit. You've got your BFO frequency, LSB and USB. You've got an earphone socket there. You've got your main tuning, what would you call that, dial I suppose. Then you got it tells you your signal there, and then you've got your band spread, RF gain, so you can turn that to sort of how local you want the stations to be and how much how much you want to hear. AF gain is just your volume on your speaker. You've got antenna trim, band selector, there's your the megahertz that I just read out to you. Main tuning and band spread knob there, and 2 in 1. And then you've got your function, your SSB, CW, send, AM, automatic noise limiter, and AM and off. You probably hear in the background there the old ship marine radio is going off, because I got that listening, monitoring the radios. This is the stations. Anyway, so there's no built-in speaker with this. It has, it's got tubes in it. It's a valve radio. There's no built-in speaker, so I linked up just a CB speaker there. Just plugged that in the back there, so that we don't plug it in, you kind of attach it, and then you just plug it in with an SO239 or a PO259 plug to an antenna. So I've taken out the coax, so that CB we got up there, that Voyage, and I'm going to take that out, put the switch on to the big antenna what's on the roof of the house, and that's an IMAX 2000. It's the biggest antenna I've got, IMAX 2000. So I'm going to plug that in, and we'll see what we can pick up. Hopefully we'll better pick up something interesting. You never know. This is Sunday morning. Sometimes, a lot of time, you hear the American stations. They're preaching stations and whatever. So just bear with me while I plug it all in, and we'll go from there. So here we go then. I've turned one of the lights off in the room here. I wanted to try and get the lights lighting up. I might turn them all off, but you might not be able to see. So it's cold at the minute. I've not turned it on. Got to wait for the valves to warm up. When the valves warm up, you'll see the RF will go, and it'll go. That's when we've got full signal, and there may be some noise coming out the speaker depending where it's tuned. So let's turn it on. Let me just turn the lights off in the room, and we see it might be too dark for this camera to focus. I don't know. Yeah, it's too dark for the camera to focus, but you can see it's nicely lit, and it's a very nice radio. Very nice radio. Anyway, I have to turn the lights back on so that you can actually see. There may be a bit of a shadow until that one turns on. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, let's turn around. Right, so there we go. I had a bit of a problem there. The speaker wires in the back were touching. The speaker weren't working. But I've managed to find a signal now, so I know we've got it's working. Sounds like preaching, one to me. It's probably on 20 metres. Another one. Got to be careful what I play on this video. That sounds like an Indian station, perhaps. Possibly some kind of data. Of course, you wouldn't have had any of that sort of noise back in the 60s when this was made. You wouldn't have had all the interference. It would just be the stations, you know, the radio stations transmitting their music and talking. You wouldn't have had all that noise. So, it's a different world nowadays to what it was back then. Let's try a different band, shall we? Hello, what have we got here? Hello, we've got a ham radio station. Yeah, it sounds like a competition. Bit of a ham competition. Yes, contest. Hopefully you can hear that. I'll move the camera a bit closer. It's a contest station. Probably on 20 metres. Can't go any louder, it's full volume. Sounds like there's another one nearby. Yep. That might be an AM. What language is that? Blimey. That's on AM, that one. God knows what bloody station that is. There we go. That's the channel 19, UKCB. Picking them up on AM, but they're on FM. So now we're picking up, this is UK channel 19 CB channels. They're on FM at the moment. I know they're chatting on FM because I was listening to them a minute ago. They'll only be on FM. But we're on AM. And we can hear them. And we can make them out. We can even hear the conversation. So, you know, you can pick up a wide range of channels and frequencies on these things, and they're a lot of good fun, you know. A lot of good fun. This looks like their conversation's just ended now, but you heard it.
I'll get this soon, yeah, and then I'll our next, yeah, I don't know if you're going out today, but on our next chat we'll have a little wander down and have a chat, yeah.
And the good thing is, if you was on AM on a CB radio, you wouldn't be able to make out what they were saying. It would all be just blah 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 blah. But because this is a receiver, highly tuned, you can pick out things on FM that are on, pick them out on AM. Bloody brilliant.
Either you have a brand that is internationally so famous that you can launch it under that brand name in China. So you have, for instance,
Chinese radio station. You reckon that's Chinese?
Tesla car. These kind of brands, they have such a market name, reputation on their own that everyone wants to buy that stuff here. Other than that, in most cases you have to localize. You have to really put yourself in, I would say, in a Chinese guise. You have to localize in the sense that your product has to not only appeal to the Chinese audience, but also have a Chinese guise. For instance, a big shopping marketer is a food company like Carrefour.
I would say this is probably some Chinese radio station somewhere in China.
Carrefour brand name, but I think the younger generations don't have.
Станции с орбиты. На нее запустят оптический телескоп, который поможет реализации исследовательских проектов в разных сферах, включая астрономию, космическую биологию, микрогравитационную, фундаментальную физику и другие. Как стало известно,
Anybody speak that language? Whatever language that is.
Основных систем китайской космической.
Japanese?
26 сентября в городе Ордос автономного района внутри.
Oh no, it might be German. I don't know.
Молодежные игры Китая, России и Монголии. За 3 дня около 1000 спортсменов из 3 стран.
La aproximativ 2 milioane de cetățeni români din străinătate. De asemenea, au fost proiecte de lege care...
You'll always find that a receiver will pick up a lot more than the transceiver, because a transceiver is tuned and designed to receive and transmit as well, whereas a receiver is purely all one-sided, so it's purely tuned and designed to receive. So you'll pick up a lot more with a receiver than you would. If I was on a HF transceiver, I wouldn't be able to pick up most of these stations. So you'll have to forgive me. I filmed the last bit of this video and then I don't know, I must have lost it or deleted it or something. So that's that's this lovely trio model 9R59D. It's a very nice old transceiver, not transceiver, receiver. Very nice, you know, it's not in perfect condition, but it's pretty good. A bit dusty now, but it's very nice. So if you like this type of thing, if you like these old radio videos and things like that, the last series I done was on old vintage cameras. This series is on radio equipment. Started off being just CB, but I've moved it around a bit, done a VHF, now done this one. You know, there's going to be various other CBs like the Unident 100 and all that. Probably a couple of TVs, vintage telephones. I'm basically turning it into communications. Vintage communication equipment. Like I said, it was meant to be CBs, now it's vintage communications. So I'm going to go all through radios, vintage radios, and then we'll move on to vintage telephones and probably TVs and things like that. So if you're interested in that, then it's going to be every Sunday at 3 AM BST, GMT, whatever time of the year you're watching. 3 AM they turn up. But obviously if you're watching it later on, it'll already be uploaded, so you can just skip through the playlist Brilliant. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for subscribing if you have subscribed. You can always watch during the week where I upload different things, not just these types of videos. Yeah, have a great day, and have a great what's left of your weekend. Thank you. Take care. Sneak peek for what's coming up in a coming up video. Old television, very old television, portable one. Can't get a signal now, but I'll sort that out. Don't worry about that.